Hello everyone, welcome to Biscuit Brawl Season 5 Group A Qualifiers, still hosted by Leapfrogs, and we're heading straight into Event 1 with block pushing. It'll work the same way in the Bleague, where you have to try to push 20 meters as quickly as possible. Heat 1 is the Natural Disasters and the Dark Dragons. Natural Disasters got a really good 6 in the A-League. Dark Dragons, not a good season, 9th in the Bleague, but they do currently have the lead over the Natural Disasters this time around. It looks like the Dark Dragons will beat the Natural Disasters in Heat 1, 12-18, while the Natural Disasters get a 12-27, which unfortunately is not as good. Heat 2 is between the Dark Dragons and the Natural Disasters. Let's see if the Natural Disasters can catch up to the Dark Dragons, or if the Dark Dragons will still prevail. And it looks like the Natural Disasters are doing really good. Dark Dragons have all their members pushing, but it's not able to beat the Natural Disasters, who have a commanding lead over the Dark Dragons. 12-16 versus 13-16 seconds, and that means that Natural Disasters take the provisional lead with a 25-13. Dark Dragons have to sell for second. Next up are the Laser Kiwis and Soda Pops. Soda Pops barely avoided relegation last time with a bronze in the final event. Laser Kiwis got a much more safe season, getting, I believe, 7th in the main league. But these two teams are like neck and neck right now. Both of them right next to each other. Who will take it? It looks barely like the Soda Pops just at the end. A 12-21 to a 12-23. Very close, clearly. But not the greatest runs, to be honest. But Heat 4 up now. Both switch lanes. Soda Pops and Laser Kiwis are going again. And it looks like the Laser Kiwis are extending their lead a bit. They do have a bigger lead compared to what the Soda Pops lead was last time. And it looks like the Laser Kiwis will win again. And it will be a bigger gap for the Laser Kiwi than the last round, which means the Laser Kiwis will take provisional first, while the Soda Pops fall to third. Heat 5 now, where we have the Oozers and Tree Huggers. Oozers have never failed to qualify before. They have perfect attendance. Tree Huggers, on the other hand, they haven't made it since Season 1. Both these green teams are pushing the blocks indeed, but it's the Oozers who are pushing it much faster, and they will beat the Tree Huggers. And it looked 12-24 by the Oozers, 13-06 by the Tree Huggers. Not good at all by the Tree Huggers. Anything above 13 seconds is generally considered to be a bad run. Now, Tree Huggers and Oozers will now switch lanes. Let's see how they will do in Heat in their second run around. And it looks much better for the Tree Huggers. Their lead is growing ahead of the Oozers. It is no contest. The Tree Huggers absolutely demolish the Oozers. And it is not a good day to be an Oozers fan right now. 13-12. That is provisionally 6th for the Oozers. Meanwhile, only 4th for the Tree Huggers, so not even that good from them. But we move on to Heat 7 with the Mind Readers and the Crimson Killers. Mind Readers did auto-qualify in Season 3, but had a mediocre Season 4. Crimson Killers had an actually pretty solid Season 4 in the B-League, but they aren't able to beat the Mind Readers here. Classic case of Brain beating Brawl. It is a 12-21 against a 12-28. Not an impossible gap to make up, but the Crimson Killers are going to have to work for it. But will they be able to beat the Mind Readers this time? We'll have to see. It looks pretty close right now, but the Crimson Killers are able to get the jump earlier on, and they are able to extend that lead to enormous proportions. It is not even close. The Crimson Killers will beat the Mind Readers, both in this heat and probably in the event overall. 12-17 versus a 13-24. Dead last for the Mind Readers so far, while the Crimson Killers slot up into third place, which is pretty good for them. Heat 9, the penultimate heat, with the Basketballers and the Chlorophyll Crew. But Chlorophyll Crew actually won last season's Bleague. Basketballers had a pretty terrible 14th. But they are pretty even here, but it looks slightly better for the Chlorophyll Crew. It looks much better for the Chlorophyll Crew now. Yeah, the Chlorophyll Crew were able to extend their lead, and were able to win. 12-29 versus a 13-08, so not great from either party, but looking better for the Chlorophyll Crew, who now they switch lanes. Let's see if the Basketballers can make up ground against the Chlorophyll Crew, or if this will be easy for the Chlorophyll Crew. And it looks like the Basketballers have a lead but it looks like the Colorful Crew are trying to catch up, but it doesn't look like they will, and it looks like the Basketballers will win, but will they beat the Chlorophyll Crew? 12-15 to a 12-22, very close. These two are going to be provisional 6th for the Chlorophyll Crew, 7th for the Basketballers, so not impressive for either side. But it will be the Laser Kiwis who will win the event, followed by the Natural Disasters and the Crimson Killers. Mind Readers will take last in the event, which really sucks for them. Standing so far, your bottom 4 provisionally are the Basketballers, Dark Dragons, Oozers, and Mind Readers. Now, it is far from over for any of these teams. All of them do have the chance to make a comeback, but we will see how they'll do in the second event, Hurdles. Heat 1, Chlorophyll Crew, Oozers, Laser Kiwis, Mind Readers. We got Glucose, Squelchy, Beak, and Neuron. Now, this event hasn't come back since Season 1, so most of these teams not very familiar with it, and we can see here some of them falling off early. Neuron really struggling with that hurdle. It's between the Chlorophyll Crew and Laser Kiwis right now, and both of them are very close. Across the line, I have no idea who won that. I think it was the Laser Kiwis, but it's hard to tell. Neuron, on the other hand, was really far behind, and it is the Beak of the Laser Kiwis who will take the win, followed by Glucose, Squelchy, and Neuron. Now we move on to Heat 2 with Crimson Killers, Soda Pops, and Tree Huggers with Ninja, Soda, and Sequoia. Sequoia actually a new marble for the Tree Huggers. Let's see how they'll do here. All of them managing to go through the hurdles pretty effortlessly. Will any of them fall? It will be Ninja who makes the first mistake, and it looks like that is Soda, I think, who has the lead, and they will cruise to a win, followed by Sequoia in second. Ninja, nowhere to be seen at this point, still struggling on these hurdles. Will they DNF? No, they will likely finish, but still an incredibly embarrassing run for Ninja of the Crimson Killers. And by the way, this team got bronze in the last event. First for the Soda Pops, P5 for Tree Huggers, and last for the Soda Pops. Hurricane, the Natural Disasters, Falcor, the Dark Dragons, and Defense of the Basketballers will be your final heat. Will any of them be able to beat the Soda? Currently, no mistakes from any of these teams. It looks like the Dark Dragons have a lead over the Natural Disasters. And it looks like the Basketballers managed to catch up to second, but no one was able to catch up to Falcor of the Dark Dragons, who will win the event. In fact, the entire heat manages to take the top 3 spots. And that means that, there's actually a tie for third with the Natural Disasters and Soda Pops, but Dark Dragons will win, followed by Basketballers. Meanwhile, Ninja of the Crimson Killers unsurprisingly takes last. And now your bottom 4 is Tree Huggers, Chlorophyll Crew, Oozers, and Mind Readers at only 1 point after 2 events. 2 events still to go, though. Anyway, we'll move on to Event 3, Circle Endurance. Now, in this event, you'll have to try to stay in the circle as long as possible. We have the Natural Disasters, Laser Kiwis, Oozers, and the Mind Readers. Now, Mind Readers and Oozers especially need to catch up here, and some of them already losing some. It's looking... Oh, Oozers are already out. It is not looking good for them. Mind Readers down to 1, Natural Disasters down to 1. Every team remaining down to 1. Now, Mind Readers down to 0. Natural Disasters and Laser Kiwis are left, but the Natural Disasters will slightly edge out the Laser Kiwis. Anyway, that's P1 for the Natural Disasters, who are currently in the lead right now, so if they do well here, that pretty much cements qualification for them. Meanwhile, Oozers, less than 10 seconds. That's embarrassing. Heat 2, we have the Basketballers, Crimson Killers, Chlorophyll Crew, and the Fat Stats of Test Team here just to make the competition a little more fair. And it looks like, oh, is that Ninja again that got out immediately? Ninja not performing to the standards of the what the Crimson Killers would like. Anyway, but all of them are still in, so it looks like they'll at least beat the Oozers. Basketballers and all the teams are out already. That just leaves us with the Fat Stats, who will outlast all of the other actual competing teams. And that one Fat Stats marble is surely gloating right now. I believe it was the Crimson Killers that did do the best out of the 3. Anyway, the Fat Stats are finally done. Impressive performance by them. But P3 for the Crimson Killers, P4 for the Chlorophyll Crew, and P5 for the Basketballers. Pretty middle of the road for all of these teams. So we'll have to see how that'll stack up later with Heat 3, the Tree Huggers, Soda Pops, and Dark Dragons, and Team Steven as a test team. Now, will any of them embarrass themselves? Dark Dragons already struggling. Dark Dragons already down to only 1 member. Meanwhile, Team Steven still has 3. Actually, the Soda Pops also only have 1 member. They're not doing too hot either. Tree Huggers do have 2, so they have a bit of leeway. But none of them are actually falling off. Okay, there goes one of the Tree Huggers and one of Team Steven. but all of these teams seem to be doing really good. It looks like all three will get a good performance. Maybe even take off the top 3. Soda Pops do fall off there. But it's between the Tree Huggers and Dark Dragons. Dark Dragons are the only team left, but they do have to compete with Team Steven and potentially get the gold. They managed to outlast one Team Steven member. Will they outlast the other? And it looks like they will not. Team Steven will beat the Dark Dragons, but it looks like a great run for the Dark Dragons, so it looks like they might win the event, but it's going to be hard to tell. We're going to have to see once Team Steven finishes up soon. They are surely gloating. Like, by the way, in the league, they were, like, really bad, but clearly they were training, and okay, we get it. Please finish. Thank you, Team Steven. Anyway, and that's P1, P2, and P3 for the Dark Dragons, Soda Pop, Tree Huggers, and Soda Pops. And amazing performance by all three of those teams. Meanwhile, Oozers, less than 10 seconds. That is just simply pathetic. Anyway, it will be the Crimson Killers, Chlorophyll Crew, Oozers, and Minders. And keep in mind, any team can still qualify, even the Mind Readers with their measly 2 points. But I believe that the Dark Dragons and Natural Disasters have guaranteed qualification. As we move into the final event, the Bouncy House. One race, finish as quickly as possible. Blizzard, Amplify, Slimy, Psych, Pass, Leaf, Stabby, Oak, Cola, and Mushu will all be your competitors. Now these bottom 4 really have to step it up this final event if they want to win. But it currently looks like I think that is the Crimson Killers. I think that's Stabby currently in the lead, but they fall off hard. They fall off nearly to the bottom half. Soda Pop's also really struggling here. But at the front, it looks to be the Basketballers. I believe that is Pass, but it is a huge fight right now. It looks like that's going to be Blizzard. No, Pass takes the lead again. It looks like Pass will win the event. But no, Blizzard takes the lead from Pass. This Plinko section, pretty random. But speaking of random, we have the Funnel section, and it looks like Blizzard will win, followed by the Chlorophyll Crew. I think that's Leaf, followed by Soda Pops, Oozers, Laser Kiwis, Basketballers, Mind Readers, Dark Dragons, and 2 teams left. That is Stabby, and I think the Tree Huggers, that is, I don't remember. I think that's Oak of the Tree Huggers, and Stabby of the Crimson Killers will finish in last. Now, notably, the team that won the event is already guaranteed to qualify, so we'll have to see how that'll affect things. Blizzard, congratulations on winning. Leaf will get silver, and Cola will get the bronze. Meanwhile, Stabby of the Crimson Killers, another poor performance in an individual event by the Crimson Killers. But the 6 teams that qualified for the Biscuit Brawl are the Natural Disasters, Soda Pops, Dark Dragons, Laser Kiwis, Chlorophyll Crew, and the Tree Huggers. The Basketballers miss out by tiebreaker. That's unfortunate. Crimson Killers, Oozers, and Minders also will go to the Bleak. We'll see you next time for the Group B qualifiers. Until then, this is Rip Biscuit signing off.